Thank you for having us. Let me introduce sort of ourselves. Angela and myself, we've spent sort of quite a few months working on this, so we're very excited to share some more information with you, so I'll kick it off. So what is our goal here with .play? Our goal is to try essentially to bring all of the different teams that we have within our ecosystem to create a pivotal hub for gaming inside Polkadot. Our focus will generally be on how we can get sort of the best tooling for the ecosystem available for everyone, how we can build those essential integration tools that we need, and provide a sustainable business model for the treasury and beyond. I think one of the things that we're most excited about is the team that we've put together. So I'd like to sort of introduce a bit the team members that we're going to have. And maybe we can start with Angela introducing Eliza and Keshav, who are part of our team.
Yes, so I'm Angela Dalton. Prior to this, SIGNUM Growth Capital CEO and founder. 20-year history in traditional finance, focused on the media sector and within media gaming for most of those 20 years. So very familiar with traditional gaming and have been an investor in the space since 2018 when we started SIGNUM. Actually officially in 2019. Invested in Mythical, which many of you know is in the Polkadot ecosystem. And have invested in several other companies that we'll talk about. And then we also are the lead advisor to ARK Invest, Kathy Wood's firm, and we advise on gaming and crypto, and also on their venture fund product. And I'll just give a couple of lines about Keshav and Eliza, our partners. So Keshav Holani has been a gaming and crypto analyst working with us. He's cleared all 3 levels of his CFA. He's been with us for a few years. Eliza Yappanen is the head of IP development for .play. She has a very long history in content creation and game development, and she created Studio Killers, digital or virtual pop star, which ended up garnering 12 billion views on TikTok. So she knows something about attention and gaming and media. So, and also moving a lot of these experiences outside of games into TV and movies. So, Nick, why don't you introduce?
And maybe sort of a short background about myself. I've been working in the Polkadot ecosystem for the past, I would say, 3 years. Our focus has been on the gaming vertical with AJUNA network, which I am a co-founder. But I've been in the blockchain and gaming space, I think, for the past 6 years. First building in the EOS ecosystem and later on our own solo chain. I think what makes this ecosystem particularly exciting for us is the fact that by design, Polkadot allows us to be able to create our own layer ones, which have a dedicated use case. And in our case, here with Angela, we're looking to see how we can bring gaming to the masses. Yeah.
So I'll go over the games and entertainment advisory team. We have an incredible lineup of people. Carly Beck is otherwise known as Supermodel Gamer. She streams most evenings. She plays Valorant, she plays Fortnite, she plays a lot of different games. And she's incredibly passionate about Web3 as well. So check her out. She's at Supermodel Gamer at SMG, and she's going to be advising us as a player and streamer herself, and also influencer, obviously. We've got 2 from Mythical, John Linden and Aaron Goolsby. Aaron, I think most of you probably know John Linden. He has an illustrious background in video games. He ran Call of Duty, one of the big studios in Activision. He sold his company Seismic Games to Niantic, which is Pokemon Go's company. And then Aaron Goolsby was on the founding team of Wizards of the Coast. Has anyone played Magic the Gathering? That was really the original team that created kind of the OG card game. And he ended up, the Hasbro bought Wizards of the Coast. He ended up going to Hasbro for many, many years, and now he's with Mythical. Many of you know Connor Daly, Indy race car driver. We are going to get Connor in a game. We're so excited. He's going to be one of our superstars that we integrate into the games that we build. And then Mark Seal, some of you know, he's built his 3D asset generation tool using AI. It's an AI asset generation tool built on Substrate. And he's going to be helping us as a kind of a tools provider also. And then Maria Menounos, she is a celebrity host. Many people might be wondering wondering why she's on this list. Her husband and agent, Kevin Undergaro, and Maria have been on the cutting edge of technology and early tech adoption for many years. I've known them for over 10 years, and they are always looking for kind of new spaces to break into, and they've both been very excited about gaming. They are bringing us Mercedes Varnado. Mercedes Monet, check her out. She's got 6.5 million followers on Instagram. She's a wrestler fighting for AEW now, and she's amazing. So we're excited that we're going to integrate her into gaming as well. And I'll just mention Josh Klayman because she is my partner in compliance. She's actually here in the audience, and we are really lucky that Josh will join us as legal advisor.
And I think that was the whole idea from the beginning. How can we create sort of a game advisory which captures the best from within our ecosystem, but make sure that we can bring people from the outside. Maybe for the technical advisory team, which is also equally important for us, we're trying to populate this with the best minds that we have within the ecosystem, both from the parachain level, as we have sort of Cedric here, as well as Siko from Moonbeam, but also we're going to have quite a few people later on join us from Parity itself to see how we can best guide projects incoming into Polkadot towards the right partners. So here's Connor Daly, which you all know, and a couple of our digital characters from Studio Killers, and our lovely signatory team. Signatory team, you can see we have a bounty, which we have put a proposal on, which we'll share a bit of information later on. The curator team that we have chosen for this bounty comprises of the two of us and also Chrissy, Bill, as well as Joe from the Web3 Foundation and Parity. Maybe let's transition of why we're trying to build on Polkadot, or why we think that Polkadot is ready for the mass adoption of the gaming vertical.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and talk about Mythical NFL rivals. As Nicholas said, Mythical is already leading the pack in Web3 gaming across all protocols. So this is an interesting, kind of illustration of how far ahead Mythical is. So Immutable is another very successful gaming project in blockchain, and they have launched 300 games. In fact, this year alone, they've launched 1 game per day. That is not even unheard of. It's not even in the realm of possible in most kind of traditional gaming. AAA games, which are like Call of Duty and Fortnite, those kind of games can take years to build with the idea that they'll be around for many, many years after that. So Mythical really has one notable game on their blockchain, which is NFL Rivals. They also have D-Market, which trades skins, Counter-Strike, Web 2 skins. But if you look at the comparison, so Immutable 300 games, Mythical kind of one notable game. Mythical is still 2.2 times larger in NFT revenues over the last 30 days. And that's also notable because the NFL season is over. The next NFL season doesn't even start until September 5th. So it's pretty incredible. And then I think it's also interesting to look at at even the wash trade. So, Mythical doesn't engage in that activity to try to, kind of drive volume. And so we're really excited about what they're doing. And I think this is indicative of kind of the heft they have in the space. And the really interesting thing, too, about Mythical is that they own the Rivals part of NFL Rivals. But has anyone not played NFL Rivals? If you haven't, raise your hand, and I'm going to help you sign up for it. It's so much fun. 5 million players have come into this game in the first year. To put that in perspective, in the first year of Madden, do people know Madden, the game from Electronic Arts? So it's a game that's been around now. It's on its 36th year. So this is a massive, massive game with hundreds of millions of players. In the first year of Madden, it garnered 25 million installs. In the first year of Mythical, it garnered 5 million. So this is a really important data point and an important milestone for crypto. This is theoretically the most successful app we've seen in crypto to date. that engine and what they've built for NFL Rivals can be ported because they own Rivals. So think other leagues. Stay tuned on that point because I think there's going to be more exciting news coming.
And let's not also forget Pudgy Penguins, which they have already announced for next year, and this is why they're getting sort of all of this great coverage as being considered the #1 blockchain, at least for the gaming side. And I think this sort of ties very nicely in sort of the whole group that we're trying to put together. What's great about Mythical is that they take traditional Web2 games and try, let's say, to offboard them onto Web3. But there's other partners that we're going to have within this ecosystem, whether that's Moonbeam, which is sort of an EVA chain, or it's sort of AJUNA, which is sort of focused on substrate palettes. There's a lot of partners that we're going to have, and we're going to create sort of a centralized gaming hub where we can guide incoming projects, great teams, towards the right partners, the right funding opportunities, and the right launch activities that we can support them with. So very excited about everything that we're putting on here together. And when we couple all of that with the experience that comes from SIGNUM and your prior sort of investments, we think we have a fantastic package for new people coming in. And maybe you can talk a bit about our partners, especially how, even with the Polkadot Unity SDK, which we started this year, and that's something that we're looking to continue forward.
Yeah, the Polkadot Unity SDK I thought was an incredible achievement on your part, really, for leading that charge, and others who worked on that. And I think that we can do a lot more with other tools providers. So we mentioned Sortium, 3D asset generation tool. They're on our advisory board. That kind of a tool can be plugged into really any video game. If you think about AAA video games, to give you a sense for size, it typically costs $200 to $300 million to create a AAA video game, and it could take 3-4 years, as I mentioned earlier. A huge chunk of that cost, let's say more than 50%, is art, and it's 3D art. So this is a use case for AI, which I think is incredibly interesting because it is making humans better. So it's a tool, it's a professional level tool for professional game developers, and it allows them to generate things in the background that might be kind of something that they have to do, but not something that they want to be doing. So Sortium is going to be, that's an example, but there are many examples like that. And then in terms of the investments, Discord, we're investors, SIGNUM investors in Discord. We can help our studios that we're building, or our games that we're building in the studios that they're in, build tap into some of these monetization tools that Discord is just now rolling out. GBM is an example. GBM is built on Moonbeam. They have an auction mechanism that can be used offline and online, and in games as well. And it drives, basically, it's a new concept that pays everyone for participation. It's basically you win. Everyone is a winner. And so if you come into the auction and you participate, they set aside a portion of the final pool for everyone to share. So that's another example. But there are others, and we'd love to talk to you about them after. I want to keep moving. But Mythical, obviously, Unreal Editor is Epic Games. Discord, Everywhere is Leslie Benzies, who created Grand Theft Auto, is launching a new platform called Everywhere, and we're investors there, and we want to help them as well.
And I think that's sort of the whole idea, how we can put this, I will call it, superstar team together to help sort of accelerate the adoption of gaming in Polkadot. And what are the type of things that we're sort of really interested to see how we can follow is some key metrics, sort of like audience and engagement. And our goal is that we see sort of all of this gaming, Web3 gaming revolution being secured by Polkadot itself. And this is actually a great, some great data which you can see where the attention of most users currently are. And I think the obvious thing, most people believe it's TikTok, which is the most or where we spend our most time. But surprisingly, you will see that it's between Roblox and Fortnite UFN, which is where sort of creators can make their own experiences on Fortnite. So how can we capitalize and drive sort of all of this attention economy towards us is a big thing that we're looking to push.
What we've seen so far in blockchain gaming is really projects launching a token and then investors selling that token and 25 to 50 players typically coming to play that game and then leaving. And we want to change that. We want to flip the script and go to the largest audiences and bring them into Polkadot. So go where the audience is, and Roblox has 80 million people daily. 80 million daily active users are going to Roblox. So if we can tap into that audience where people are spending, as Nick said, 2.5 hours a day, and then bring them into Polkadot, we think that will be a much more fruitful strategy in terms of sustainability and long-term value. This is one thing that we love to say. UGC, which stands for User-Generated Content, is the new mall. I have a 12-year-old. She goes to school. She plays sports. So she's very balanced as a kid. Unlike my son, who was a hardcore video gamer, and that's pretty much all he did. But she is very balanced. But she spends every other waking moment in Roblox. This is a really hard concept for people to get their head around, but this, as a video game, is no longer a video game. We say it's the new mall. It's where people hang out. It's their social media. She made a comment to me that Instagram is for old people. There's a new generational behavior that we really want to tap into here.
And even this whole idea of digital assets, when you move away from the financial side and think of it in these games, it's more like fashion. It's more sort of a way that we can express themselves. And that's where you gain your value by sort of being passionate about these digital assets. And that's what we're trying sort of to create here. Maybe we can give a bit of an overview of what is going to be the process that we're going to be going through in order when we're trying to onboard games. So as we mentioned previously, we've set up some really great boards, a technical board as well as a gaming board. Our job is to identify and try to bring into our ecosystem the most talented people and the most interesting projects. And the way that we're going to do it, once we have identified these projects, we sit down with both of our advisory boards, examine is the good fit for Polkadot, what are the integration requirements, and how can we support them? And then we have our game advisory, which sort of can give us their input on the business side of things, how they see this being able to succeed, or what do we need to provide in order to help them to succeed. Now, in terms of how we can, after we sort of identify a qualified proposal, there's different ways of which we can support them, even on the fundraising side, which is why we've put also our .play bounty there as a way that we can help accelerate the growth of these games, and obviously start building out with other ecosystem players like we have right now Max and Mario, who are also looking out to create an ecosystem fund, and how we can push all of these interesting projects towards some external funding as well. So yeah, that's a bit about our...
One thing just to add to that is that I see some in the audience here too are interested in gaming. I feel like if we can kind of harness resources and have this central point from which we all start, there are going to be many synergies because gaming is massive. I should have said this in the beginning. Gaming is larger than music, TV, movies, and books combined. So there's room for more to come into this space.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to invite everyone. We'll be at Web3 Summit in Berlin, August 19 through 21. And we're going to be running the games track. So if you would like to speak at at Web3 Summit, definitely reach out. And then the next day, we're going to be traveling to Cologne for one of the largest gaming conferences of the year, if not the largest, called Gamescom. In Cologne on August 22nd, we'll be hosting an event. It will be the future of gaming and Polkadot brainstorm for game developers. So we hope you can all come.
And lastly, if you haven't seen our .play bounty, which is bounty 968, it's already up. We'd love your support. Any questions that you have, please either go and post them on the forum itself, or you can grab the both of us here at the event, and more than happy to talk about it.
Thank you so much.
And so, maybe any questions?
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry. Any question for them?
If anyone has any questions, we're definitely open. We have a couple more minutes.
About the passion of gaming. All right.
Yeah.
So, I am real passionate for gaming, and when you show the slides where Connor appears, this is a question that came to my mind immediately, and is when a game for Connor?
So I think that was one of the first questions that we tried to tackle ourselves, because, and that goes back to the idea of synergy. There's so many different things happening in the ecosystem right now. You see, as you said, the Indy 500. We have Heroic, which is another big player as an esports organization. And I think one of the things that we're really interested about is how we can bring all of those different efforts together and get sort of the maximum out of it. So wouldn't it be great if we had an Indy 500 race where then you can go and sort of play the game with the car, as Conor McGregor.
Another angle. So we've been thinking about a lot of ideas. So just so you know, but another angle is Nitro Nation. They have licensed 80 cars in the game. What if one of the cars in the game is Conor's car? So that's another idea. We also have this idea, this vision that we will have a wrestling game with Mercedes as the superstar in the game, and Conor is going to drive to the fight in his Polkadot 500 car.
Wow. And Angela, another question related to this. Maybe in other ecosystems, an initiative like that was handled in a centralized way, where you generate a proposal in OpenGov, now you are part of a superstars team, because you put the all people that is collaborating, and it's really amazing. What do you think that will be the difference in this kind of collaboration for make impact to the ecosystem?
Shall I give it a go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we've seen over the past 5, 6, maybe more years, different ecosystem funds pop up every now and then, spending over 200, even the most recent one, which I think is from Arbitrum, which is another 200 million fund. But we've seen this played out over and over again. What we're trying to do best here is have a very curated and hands-on approach, more like an accelerator, where we bring all of these different ecosystem agents together and try sort of to get the maximum out of it, which is why we decided to go this sort of open governance way and involve everyone. We need to find a decentralized model that can work for BD for gaming, and that's sort of what we're trying to do here.
Amazing. Well, applauses for Angela, from Nicholas, please.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that.